During my lunch break at work, I found myself speaking in hushed tones, a stark contrast to the unintentional volume of my recent phone call. Confusion and frustration swirled within me as the insurance company representative calmly relayed the unexpected news of my policy cancellation request. This wasn't something I had arranged. My insurance journey began through the persuasion of my sister-in-law Rachel, an insurance agent. She recommended a savings-oriented life insurance policy, albeit at a premium rate. As Stella, a 40-year-old office worker, residing with my husband and daughter, today had already presented its challenges. The morning chaos ensued with my husband announcing an impromptu business trip, leaving our daughter fretting over a misplaced math textbook. Amidst the flurry, I couldn't hold back a remark about preparation. While Amy quickly apologized and promised better care, my husband's grievances rang louder, his focus on missing socks irking me. In the heat of the moment, as he packed, I couldn't help but wonder about his frequent business trips and the sudden preference for casual attire. Memories of past infidelity stirred, his transparent attempts at concealment doing little to mask his actions. He had pleaded for forgiveness before, involving family members to sway my decision. Yet here we were again, his apologies falling hollow amidst the echoes of betrayal. His tears, once a plea for clemency, now seemed merely pitiful, a facade crumbling under the weight of his repeated transgressions. "I've had it," I declared to my husband, my voice firm with resolve. "If there's another issue, we're done." With those words hanging in the air, I handed him the divorce papers to fill out and took charge, transferring all our savings into my account. Despite forgiving him, any love I once felt had evaporated. My husband's selfishness had worn me down. His neglect of our daughter Amy and his inability to prioritize her well-being or spend quality time with her had eroded my patience. But for Amy's sake, I planned to endure a while longer before initiating divorce proceedings. The morning turmoil over Amy's missing textbook left me drained. With no time to pack lunch, I sought refuge in a deli near my office during my break. A poster from an insurance company caught my eye, triggering a memory of the policy I held, promising a celebratory cashback after a certain period. The anticipation of this bonus brought a glimmer of excitement, igniting my thoughts of how I could use the money, perhaps for new fall clothes for Amy. Yet my optimism was short-lived. A visit to the bank to update my passbook revealed no celebration money, and to my surprise, this month's insurance premium hadn't been deducted. Suspicion crept in, fueled by my husband's shady actions earlier that day. A call to the insurance company, only to find my sister-in-law Rachel absent, led to another woman explaining the cancellation of my policy. Despite her assurances of paperwork being in order, I sensed something amiss. The absence of any deposit for cancellation fees further fueled my doubts. The implication that the insurance company bore no fault in the matter only heightened my suspicion. It was clear. I needed to make my stance unequivocally clear. I had never intended to cancel my policy, and I made that clear when I called the insurance company back. "You better confirm with Rachel," I insisted before abruptly ending the call. With my lunch break slipping away, I barely had time to touch the food I bought from the deli, but hunger was the least of my concerns. I had more pressing matters to address. Seeking permission from my boss to leave early, I swiftly wrapped up my remaining tasks before departing the office ahead of schedule. Dialing my husband's number, I steeled myself for his response, fully aware that he might be busy at work. "Stella, why are you calling?" "I'm at work," he grumbled upon answering, the cheerful music in the background a stark contrast to his demeanor. Frustration bubbled within me as I confronted him about the cancellation of my life insurance policy. "This is absurd," I snapped, my suspicions weighing heavily on him and Rachel. "I might have been scammed, and I'm considering involving the police." His admission took me aback. "It was me, okay," he confessed, catching me off guard with his sudden honesty. But any relief was short-lived as anger simmered beneath the surface. "So it was you," I retorted sharply. "Where's the cash value then?" His response about using it to support his mother only fueled my frustration. "Support?" I repeated incredulously. "Did something happen to her? Why does she suddenly need money?" "No, she just wants to take family trips to holiday resorts now and then," he explained nonchalantly, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. I was taken aback by my husband's unexpected words. "You canceled my life insurance without my consent, and you used it for travel expenses? The business trip was a lie?" I questioned, incredulous at the revelation. Yeah, I'm the beneficiary, so I don't see a problem, he boasted, his excitement palpable as he described the luxury hotel lobby he was currently in. It seemed as though being caught red-handed only emboldened him. Frustration surged within me as I attempted to reason with him. Why did you cancel without my consent? I'm the one paying the premium from my own salary, I argued, only to be met with dismissive remarks about being healthy and able to take out another policy. His lack of understanding left me with a pounding headache. Do your parents and Rachel know that you cancel my life insurance without my consent? Didn't my father-in-law say anything? I pressed, hoping for some semblance of accountability. But his nonchalant response only fueled my irritation. Rachel is obviously an accomplice. You and Rachel forged my handwriting and stamped it, right? I accused, dismayed by their apparent disregard for my consent. His attempts to justify his actions fell flat. I want to take a break and have some fun once in a while. It's okay, right? We came on a family trip and everyone's happy, he insisted, oblivious to my concerns. The exclusion of Amy and me from his definition of family stung. Isn't your family Amy and me? Insurance is for emergencies and I'd be happier if I didn't have to use it. Shouldn't you consult me first if you want to support travel expenses? I countered, growing increasingly exasperated by his childish excuses. His refusal to acknowledge the gravity of the situation only fueled my frustration. You're making me not want to talk by getting angry like this. What a pain in the ass if you keep up this bickering, he retorted, further straining our already tense exchange. I wouldn't mind getting a divorce. I muttered under my breath, contemplating the possibility. I bet you couldn't pull it off. My husband's newfound assertiveness, perhaps fueled by the tourist ambience, didn't escape my notice. Understood, I replied tersely before ending the call. The resolve within me solidified as I silently vowed to retaliate against my in-laws and my husband for their betrayal. My patience, worn thin by years of forgiveness, had finally reached its limit. What I had once perceived as a normal family dynamic now revealed itself as a facade of deceit and manipulation. It was time to sever ties. Without hesitation, I made my way to the courthouse. Clutching the divorce papers my husband had filled out, a symbolic talisman of my newfound determination. Submitting the papers, I took the first step towards liberation. Collecting my daughter Amy from her after-school program, I broke the news gently, explaining the impending divorce. Amy's initial surprise gave way to acceptance as she processed the information. Upon arriving home, Amy's innocent question caught me off guard. So, Dad isn't coming back home anymore? She asked, prompting me to clarify the situation. Your dad won't be back tonight because he's on a business trip. We're getting divorced, so we'll be living separately, I explained gently, unaware of the depth of her understanding. Her immediate response surprised me. Then let's start packing right away, she urged, her determination evident. Confusion swept over me until her next words brought clarity. You're breaking up with Dad, right? You don't have to cry anymore. I don't like him because he's always mad, she confessed, revealing a hidden layer of her resilience. Realization washed over me as I understood her silent efforts to prevent our fights. Amy, did you always try to stop us from fighting because you didn't want me to be sad? I asked, touched by her unwavering support. Of course, she replied simply, her words a testament to the strength of her love. I had resolved to endure the marriage for Amy's sake, but her revelation shattered that resolve. It was evident she had been silently shouldering the burden of our strained relationship. Amy's intervention in our fight stemmed from her concern for me. Dad never plays with me even on his days off, she confessed, her words tinged with sadness. He tells me to go away whenever I try to talk to him. He only uses me to say something mean to you. Her admission pierced my heart, revealing the depth of her sorrow. It was a painful realization that my husband's selfishness had not only affected me but had also left its mark on Amy. I'm sorry, Amy, I murmured, my voice thick with emotion. I've made you go through a lot. From now on, it's just going to be the two of us, but I'll take good care of you. I really love you. Determined to shield Amy from further sadness, I busied myself with preparations. While she focused on her homework, I reached out to a lawyer, searched for realtors and movers online, and contacted my parents. Upon hearing our plight, my parents insisted we return home immediately. Amy doesn't have to transfer schools, my father assured. And tomorrow morning, I can borrow a truck to help us move our things. With their support, I began the process of transitioning our lives. I informed the landlord and Amy's school of our relocation, deciding to tackle the paperwork gradually. And with work, I requested a vacation day for tomorrow, signaling the beginning of our new chapter. I was determined to get everything sorted before my husband returned home. The next day, with the help of my parents, we swiftly relocated our belongings to their house. By the time my husband arrived, only his things remained in the apartment, leaving behind a note stating our divorce and our new status as strangers. I departed without looking back, anticipating his inevitable shock. The feeling of triumph washed over me as I reflected on the smooth execution of my plan. My ability to prepare for the divorce seamlessly stemmed from my prior research and readiness, honed during his previous infidelity. I had made it clear to him then, if there was a next time, there would be no discussion, only divorce. We had agreed that I would retain custody of our daughter and all shared assets. And so my daughter and I embarked on our new life at my parents' house. A few days later, a frantic call from my mother-in-law startled me. Despite her son's penchant for tears, her outburst caught me off guard. "You're divorcing him even though he didn't cheat?" she exclaimed, her words ringing in my ears. Her insistence on an apology bewildered me. Apologize? Why? I responded, struggling to comprehend her demands. The abruptness of my question seemed to catch her off guard, silencing her momentarily. As she attempted to reassert herself, I found myself questioning her identity. "Who are you?" I blurted out, unable to shake off the suspicion of a potential scam call. Her hesitation only fueled my uncertainty. "If you don't identify yourself, could this be a scam call?" I challenged, refusing to yield until I was certain of the caller's legitimacy. I decided to seize upon my slip of the tongue. After all, now that we were divorced and strangers, there was little point in engaging in serious conversation with those who unilaterally canceled a life insurance policy. "Don't be ridiculous, Stella. If you're going to take that attitude, I have a few things to say too," my mother-in-law retorted, her fury palpable. But her anger didn't faze me. "What are you talking about? Do you think you can just do something like that?" I challenged, refusing to back down. I had an agreement with him. If there was any issue, we'd divorce immediately, and he told me on the phone that we were getting divorced. My words left her speechless, and I seized the opportunity to press on. If he wanted to go on a trip, he should have just talked to me about it. Why did he have to commit a crime? Is your whole family looking to end up in jail or something? Canceling life insurance without consent qualifies as forgery. You know that could lead to imprisonment from 3 months to 5 years, so I'm ready to fight this thoroughly. I don't want to hear about how his family has no savings or how they're poor. My husband might have just done this nonchalantly, but that's precisely why I can't forgive him. The mention of imprisonment seemed to catch her off guard, and she faltered, but it was too late. I hung up and blocked all calls from my husband's family. After that, my husband was so shocked by the divorce that he voluntarily left his job and became a shut-in. As for the life insurance issue, we utilized the financial ADR system, which successfully resolved insurance-related disputes outside of court. Rachel, my sister-in-law, faced disciplinary action and was fired from her insurance company. The incident even made minor headlines, causing the in-laws to become the talk of the town, shamed by relatives who told them to have some common sense and shame. Both my husband and Rachel found themselves unable to work and in a financial crunch. Meanwhile, I was living freely with my daughter Amy back at my parents' house. Determined to make up for the hardships Amy had endured, I showered her with plenty of love.